Hi everyone, it's Charles and Sybil with Striking Conversations, and we're beginning our series on the 5 love languages.
Now, if you don't have this book, go right out and get it. You can probably find it at Walmart, Lifeway, any Christian bookstore, Barnes & Noble. It's all over the place. Order it on the net, but go get it, because it's one of the best books that we have ever read, and we highly recommend it to everyone who's going into a relationship, who's in a relationship, who might be thinking about a relationship, or maybe they know somebody with a relationship.
I guess that's everybody. The first chapter, chapter 1, talks about what happens to love after the wedding.
I do not know.
You sure?
Positive. I was wondering that myself, because I had all of these fantastical ideas about how you were going to just give me whatever I want.
Fantastical ideas, indeed.
Be my love queen.
Here in the book, he does talk about how romantic love is deeply rooted in our psychological makeup, and how that's something that we just yearn for and that we really desire.
It's a natural thing. If you look at it, when you were a baby, you began to develop that need to have an interaction and a relationship with someone else. And then as we get older, we want to then fully develop and further develop that same relationship. So it's definitely an internal drive that we have.
Yeah, and he talks about how we'll take those quizzes, 101 ways to please your spouse, or we'll go to an event or class or something and get all these wonderful tips on how to propel our relationship forward. And we'll get through, if it was 101, we'll get through about 2 of them and leave the other 99 alone. And the answer to the questions that you have as to why you don't continue on with those types of things, or you can't find the type of love that you're looking for, well, he's attempting to answer those types of questions in the book. Not that it's a catch-all for everything, but it's just one tool that you can use that will aid your marriage and deepen the growth of your marriage.
Just another bullet in the belt to get it done. And if you find that potentially there's something that you didn't know, or you find another way to look at it, because the first time I looked at this, I was like, now wait a minute, I was smart enough to figure that out for myself. What happened? But after 10 years, I hadn't figured it out yet. I had to wait until this book came along, and then, boy, I was like, man, if I had just had this, Sybil, before we met.
Yeah.
Not when we, but before we met.
Yeah. On page 14, he talks about we must be willing to learn our spouse's primary love language if we are to be effective communicators of love.
When you don't speak the same language that your spouse is speaking when it comes to love, both of you are sort of babbling, and you're really not sure what the other is talking about. So we've got to be able to communicate in the way that we understand. And that is far and above the communication that we normally have on a day-to-day basis.
Right. And it's like if you speak English and your spouse speaks Japanese and neither one of you want to learn the other's language, there could be a little communication challenge there.
Oh, a huge communication challenge, because he says here that seldom do a husband and wife have the same primary emotional love language.
And when he said that, I had to go back and reread the book, because he talks about how as children we learn our love language from those who nurture and rear us. And because the two of you weren't born or reared in the same home, then it stands to reason why you would have differing love languages.
And if you look at how all of that language was influenced by so many other things in your life once you even left the house. Other relationships that you had, friends, relatives, TV, movie, video, I guess now video games. So you had a whole lot of influences on what is going to make up your primary love language.
And so it's okay to understand that your spouse has a different love language than you. The challenge that you have to rise up to is being willing to make the changes and the concessions that you need to make in order to speak that love language.
And he speaks to that by saying, once you identify and learn to speak your spouse's primary love language, I believe that you will have discovered the key to a long-lasting, loving marriage. Love need not evaporate after the wedding, but in order to keep it alive, most of us will have to put forth the effort to learn a secondary love language.
Wow.
So this is going to be great.
Yes.
Now, we want to make sure that on February the 20th, 2010. This is going to be on a Saturday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're going to have our second annual married couples brunch. It's called Love, Aspiring to New Heights.
Yeah, and it's going to be at New Horizons Computer Learning Center, and that's at
4775 American Way.
Right.
4775 American Way.
And it's going to begin at 11, and it's going to go on until 2. And the donation is going to be $25 per couple and $15 for an individual in case your spouse or your loved one can't attend with you.
And if you heard that ringing, that was our time trying to run out, and we're going over as usual. So we're excited about what's to come. Be sure to stay tuned on Striking Conversations. That's where you're going to be able to register. Also, we have an event notification on Facebook that'll take you over to Striking Conversations so that you can register. So stay in tune. Mama has for this year, what, 300 and...
It's 365 days of 2010, and it's a blog where we can just talk about what's happening, what are our ideas, what thoughts we had, the challenges we had during the course of this year. So come on out and blog with me.
It's going to be good. I'm not saying anything in that one. I'm just sitting back and watching. So until we get to the next chapter, don't forget, we love you. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.